Good morning, all, and welcome to today's segment of Nadya's Identity Files. If you're tuning in to the WCOBM platform, you may notice our recent makeover. I hope you like it. There's a lot in store for both my show, Nadya's Identity Files, and WCOBM in the next month or so, between new innovations for the WCOBM platform, including Skype, streaming opportunities, and streaming to additional social media platforms. And, of course, my long list, Dead Sea Scrolls length list size of really cool Identity Files guests to look out for. We have so much to look forward to. I'm really, really excited. I can't believe that it's, January 17th? Where is this year going? Like, is this going to go even faster than 2016? What is going on? I'm seriously confused right now. So, recently, and it's probably in part because of the climate that we're in and next week's inauguration and the upcoming Women's March, which I'll discuss later, among other things. But I've been thinking a lot about my gender identity and overall outward appearance, and not in a shallow way, just more in, I guess you could say, in a contextual way. I've been thinking, and again, also not because I'm questioning my gender or I'm in a place where I'm like considering doing a new form of gender expression, though who knows, I could in the future. I'm not saying that I'm fixed in one way or another. As you may have noticed in previous segments, I'm pretty malleable and I'm a pretty fluid person. But lately, it's just been markedly apparent to me that men and even some women still possess limited views of women's capabilities and complexities. And this really, really bothers me. I mean, it's bothered me since I was a girl, but now in 2017, 3 years from a year as apocalyptic sounding as 2020, we're still on this place. In fact, in many ways, I feel like we're moving backwards. Women should never, ever, 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 under any circumstances, be presumed to be unintelligent or available in terms of dating just based upon their exterior alone. We're a lot more complicated than that, people. Many men who reach out to me, and not just men, I'm not going to say this is only relative to men, but for the most part, it is what it is. They reach out to me on Facebook, for example, presuming that I'm single and I'm ready and waiting to be barraged by personal inquiries. There's never really any questions about what I do or my career path or any investigation. I mean, they even ask me, like, where are you? Like, straight up, they'll be like, where are you? And I'm kind of veering off course right now, but I'm just like, sometimes I'm just in awe by these crazy messages. It's like, what do you mean, where am I? I'm on Facebook. And you see where I live, like, just look at my profile. It's just, which goes to show, it's like they glance over your exterior. Oh, hot girl, check. Let me just like reach out and see what their available status is. And, this is probably a phenomenon that might never change, but it's just, I feel like now in this time in 2017, people should be more self-aware of how their behaviors and interactions and the way they reach out to people, namely men to women, is just like, it's really toxic and it's not cool. And I think that we all deserve a bit more for ourselves and for each other. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, this is so frustrating. In spite of my numerous accomplishments, men just want to discuss my dating life or make suggestions regarding my physical attributes. My most recent and fan favorites, have you considered changing your hairstyle because your hairstyle looks like a school kid? So I was like, what? Like, first of all, who says school kid? Like, what's happening right now? I can't. And, to some degree, these guys, they cannot help their behavior. I'm not excusing it, but there's a little thing that I'd like to talk about today, and I'm not trying to get too highfalutin, but most of their behaviors and attitudes originate from a little concept known as implicit bias. And implicit bias is different than explicit bias. Explicit bias is a situation wherein people are pretty much aware of their feelings towards another group of people, such as men being outwardly misogynistic, for example, whereas implicit biases are often ingrained from early childhood or from society, which is why I regularly preach about the importance of debunking societal stereotypes and and notions so we can, eradicate these implicit biases that are ingrained so deeply within us. And so, a lot of people, they're just not aware that their behavior is toxic and that it's coming from a place of bias that they're not aware of. There's a test called the implicit bias test. You can Google it. And basically what it does is it shows different pictures of people from different ethnic groups, age groups, genders, and so on and so forth. And it tests your reaction to them in a really nuanced way. Every single person on this earth, including me, has implicit bias. But I think once we become aware that we have that, similar to other issues, like, I could go on and we'll explore them in future segments. The sooner that we can become more aware of these issues, then we can start to chip away at them. So men, you have implicit biases towards women. Many of you also have explicit biases. Be aware and don't be annoying on Facebook. Case in point. Again, wow. I'm sorry, guys. I just saw something like a very interesting character outside that I would love to have on my show. Like, this person had purple hair. It was really cool. Anyway, yes. Do your research. So, being a person in new media, going back to my profession, how I'm like, these people are not inquiring about what I'm doing, is really important. It's really powerful because it gives me an opportunity to chip away at these societal expectations and notions in a way that many others don't have an arena to do. So, beyond breaking down stereotypes through my show topics, so far we've explored identity and illness, we've explored identity and how it impacts different types of professions, including working in the adult entertainment industry, gender, sexuality, political affiliation. Today, and hopefully in some manner or another, in every single segment that I have, I aim to break down stereotypes and eradicate biases about women's capabilities, because women and girls are capable of just about anything that they put their minds to. And that said, today's episode is going to showcase one phenomenal woman that I really look up to, named Asha Daya. She works in new media. She breaks boundaries with her content on a regular basis. She's an international TV host and blogger. She's worked between UK, Australian, and US markets, spreading the importance of women's and girls' empowerment through the content that she disseminates and the content that she explores in her interviews and blogs for other outlets. She's the founder and editor-in-chief of Girl Talk HQ, which is an online platform and community for girls and women, so they can have a safe place to be themselves and to explore really important issues that are relevant to them and women and girls who might feel otherwise slighted by commercial media. So I'm so excited to talk to her today. It's going to be a great show. We're going to dig into issues concerning her and her path and identity in women and new media in general. And we are going to have something I haven't done for a little while, an on-air social media consult, whipping back out my narrative identity strategy to see how I can help Asha reach out to even more girls and women with her work. But first, I want to do a quick identity news brief. I know I've been going on and on and on about women and identity and new media. It's just like it's something that's really, really important to me. But another thing I've been thinking about lately, and not by choice, because people in my apartment complex are really, really loud and raucous and excited about football. I've been thinking, like, what is up with football and our identities? Like, how do people align themselves with a certain team over another? Is it because of how they grew up? Maybe the family was like, this is your team, child, and you will stick to it. And the child grew into an adult and was like, this will be my team for life. Like, Redskins forever, Steelers forever, dad told me so. Or is it because of their home state origins? Or is it because of, it's just so many things. And then it's like, there are so many different identity manifestations based upon the different types of sports that people like, not just football. I think a lot of people can say that a baseball fan has some different mannerisms and behaviors than a typical football fan. But perhaps these are just stereotypes. I hope to explore identity in the context of sports and athletics in a future segment. So excited for that, and keep your eye out because it might be coming soon. You know, I could go into a lot of other identity news topics, but I want to get to my interview with Asha because we have so much to talk about. But first, a little shout out, or not so much of a shout out, but maybe more of like a grimace about the upcoming inauguration taking place on January 20th. Obviously, there's a lot of conflict in the air about that. Our friend President-elect Donald Trump has been struggling to get some powerful celebrity identities to show up at his inauguration, and I think he's found a couple bands. I don't know what Silverchair, is that who's playing? Puddle of Mud? I don't know. I'm just saying I don't know. I seriously don't know who's playing at his inauguration. Like, no one notable. On the day after the inauguration, on the 21st, there's going to be a demonstration that aims to bring 1 million women and feminists to the nation's capital so they can formally protest his inauguration and walk for equality and human rights. There are actually going to be similar women's marches throughout different cities in the country, including in Los Angeles. At 9 a.m. in Pershing Square, you can head down to the Women's March LA and join in to march for everything that women deserve and everything that our country should be standing for and doesn't yet quite get it. So if you want to head out, 9 a.m. Pershing Square, I may be there, and it will be a lot of fun and probably incredibly impactful. We'll be right back with Asha. Thank you.